What's up guys, Tim from Everyday Tactical Vids, and today we're looking at this guy. This is the Gerber 18-inch Gator sawback machete. I actually got this from my friends over at Combat Sports Supply for 22 bucks. You can find it there on their website. And this is a pretty cool item. If you're familiar with machetes, most of them are a little bit thinner than this, and they don't have that saw back on it. But we're going to look at this guy and talk about some of the advantages of it, do a little review here in the basement, and then take it outside and show you what it looks like to use it. As we start off here, you can see the sheath. Pretty solid construction. Again, if you saw my SOG Tomahawk review, it'll protect, it'll protect the machete as it's being transported. If you, took the end of this and really hit it hard, it would poke through the end here, but just in general transport, it's going to be pretty much good to go. You've got your hook and loop closure here, so pull that guy back, and then out comes the machete. And just a quick look here before we get into some of the details. Your lanyard, got your handle, your blade with your warning. That is a sticker. I just left it on there, but you can take it off. And then here's the other side. So some of the details on this guy. Your blade is a high carbon steel. The handle is what they call the Gator grip, and it's a tactile rubber grip. Obviously you have the serrated back and then the blade front. Your overall length for the blade is 18 inches. Your overall length total, including the handle, is 25.7 inches, and your weight is 18 ounces. So there's some of the details for you. One thing they do give you in the package is this guy right here, which is just a reminder about how to hold it. So basically you can see here what they want you to do with the lanyard, and then on this other side, same thing, just in a different language. So not a huge, a huge piece of information. Doesn't tell you a ton, but good information as far as proper way to actually hold the machete. Now, again, if you're familiar with the machetes at all, this guy's a little bit thicker than your standard machete, and that is because you do have this saw back, and that is made to really, you're really going to see when we get outside that thing can really cut. Zooming in here a little bit, you can see you've got those hex bolts that go through. I guess the main application for that would be if you need to take the blade off or replace a blade or replace a handle, something like that. If it is riveted and the rivets get loose at all, then you got an issue. At least these guys, you can crank them down. This is, as you can see, they call it Gator. It kind of has that Gator look to it. Very comfortable rubber to hold. Again, I always tell people when I'm in doing videos here, about 6'2", so you can see that fits my hand very nicely. And then you got the lanyard here that you can set up depending on how you want to hold it or how you want to operate it. So basically, they say put it basically over the handle like so, and then grip it like this. So that's what their kind of general recommendation is. Pretty aggressive teeth there on the back. I definitely I would be careful moving this thing around. The blade is not super sharp when you get it, and the teeth will actually, they'll cut you definitely if I raked it across my hand there. It definitely can be sharpened, but what we'll do is we'll get out and actually use this guy in the woods and take a look at it before we do any sharpening and see how it just functions right out of the box. Alright, so that's pretty much all we can talk about when it comes to what it looks like here in the basement. Now let's take it outside and see how it works. Alright guys, you saw the review in the basement. Now we're going to get out and actually use this Gerber machete. I've already been pretty impressed with the saw blade. It's pretty, like I said, the blade is wider, so it's going to be beefy and strong, so it can actually handle using it as a saw. But let me show you the machete option, and then we'll bust out the saw a little bit there. So. Yeah, so that's what, 4 or 5 strikes, and I'm already halfway through the tree. Clear out some of the wood. Yeah. So I'll give you a sense. I don't want to push this on top of the cameraman there, but piece of cake will work on something that's probably an inch across, inch around. So here's the saw blade, and you can zoom in a little bit, and we'll cut through this guy. This is probably as big as my index finger, so it's not super big, but just to give you a sense of how quickly the saw blade can get through something. And done. For some people, they swear by an axe in the outdoors. Other people have to have a big, beefy survival knife. I would definitely say you want a survival knife first. And then if you want an additional item, this could be really good because you do have the machete option and the saw option as well. So I do want to note that I'm actually quite impressed with the saw option because it's sturdy enough. Sometimes you get a knife or something like that that has a saw blade on the back. It just doesn't work because either the teeth are too small or it's not strong enough to actually do something. This guy actually does work quite well. One other thing to note is that after beating it up a little bit, it does have a little bit of play in the handle, but as I noted before, you got 2 hex bolts, so when I get home I'll just crank those guys down and we should be good to go. Alright, one other thing I want to note is actually just the sheer length of your saw blade. You know, take your average cheapo survival knife where they put a saw blade on the back. You got what, 2-3 inches maybe of that? So you're trying to cut something with the saw blade, you're going like this. This guy, I mean, you're talking, like I said, about 18 inches of blade, and 16 of that has got a saw blade on it, so you can really, as you can see here, you're really getting, you know, you're getting a lot of push, you can see. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely getting down into the wood pretty quickly because of the length of that blade, so another cool feature of this guy. So check out the link below. You can find this over at Combat Sports Supply. Again, this Gerber machete saw combo, pretty cool item, and that's pretty much it. So thanks for checking out the video. We'll see you guys soon.